Joliet and Marquette. The French were interested in any water route that would make travel easier. The French governor sent Louis Joliet to find out where the Mississippi River led. Joliet was an expert map maker. Jacques Marquette, a Catholic priest, was asked to go along. Father Marquette had lived in Canada for 7 years and had learned to speak many Indian languages. Joliet and Marquette and 5 men traveled in birch bark canoes across Lake Michigan. They stopped at Green Bay, then paddled up the Fox River to Lake Winnebago. When the canoes could go no farther, the Indians helped the French carry or portage their boats. They carried the boats and their cargo on their backs until they reached the Wisconsin River. Then the 2 Indian guides left. They were afraid of what might be ahead. The men traveled on the Wisconsin River until it flowed into the Mississippi River. At the place where the 2 rivers joined, the French built a settlement. They named it Prairie du Chien. The name meant Prairie of Dogs. Down the Mississippi River, the men followed the Mississippi south. After many days, they stopped for a peaceful meeting with some Indians who gave them a peace pipe that later saved their lives. At the Arkansas River, Indian men with guns suddenly surrounded them. Only the sight of the Indian peace pipe kept the Indians from attacking. The Indians told Marquette that the guns had come from other white men about 10 days' journey away. The other men were probably Spanish and it would be dangerous to go on. The Indians also told the men that the Mississippi flowed to the Gulf of Mexico. Marquette and Joliet claimed all of the land on both sides of the Mississippi River for France. Then they went back to Canada with exciting news. They had discovered that it was possible to travel from Canada all the way to the Gulf of Mexico by water. This was a very important discovery because traveling by water was so much easier than traveling by land. The brave explorers had also discovered a land with rolling hills and wide valleys. There were thick forests, beautiful lakes, and many rivers. Thousands of beavers lived in the rivers. Other animals with thick furs lived in the forest. It was a good place to trap for furs. Map: Joliet and Marquette's route. First trip, return trip. Follow the route the men took. How did they get across Wisconsin? How far south did they travel? Trace the return trip. Wisconsin portrait. Jacques Marquette, 1637 to 1675. Jacques Marquette was born in France. He was a gentle, kind boy. When he was 17 years old, he became a priest. He wanted to be a missionary overseas. His wish came true when he was sent to Canada. There he taught the Indians, studied their language, and started several missions. While teaching the Indians, Marquette learned of a great river to the west. He also met Louis Joliet. When he was 36 years old, Marquette went with Joliet and other men to explore the great river the Indians had spoken of. They were the first Europeans to see the upper Mississippi River. The Spanish had claimed the lower part. Marquette wrote a journal about his trip on the river. We safely entered Mississippi on the 17th of June. With a joy I cannot express. A few years later, while Marquette was traveling to see his friends, the Illinois Indians, he became ill and died. He was only 38 years old. Marquette University in Milwaukee is named for Father Marquette.